Hi there, Karen here with another Christmas layout, as you can see, and today I'm using this beautiful paper from Kaisercraft. I've had it in my stash for quite a while. As you can see, I've already cut a couple of trees from it, but this time I'm going to cut a whole load of trees to make the background of my layout, or to go on my layout, and it'll be the basis of it. They're beautiful silver foiled trees, mainly in colours of pink and green, and I think it's quite an unusual colour for me to use. I don't use a lot of pink on any of my layouts, and certainly not usually on Christmas, but these trees were so gorgeous I thought I really needed to make a little cluster of them over here on the right and use them for this layout. So I'm just arranging them on the side of the page. I'm going to keep a couple by just to put at the edge of my photos, but I just thought I'd see how they looked before I decide whether they'll go. And here we are. There's the photos I'm using of my daughter and her partner. And as you can see, she's very pregnant at the moment. And this was a lovely picture of the two of them in front of our Christmas tree. And she's just about halfway, a bit over halfway there at Christmas. She's about 28 weeks at the moment, I think. So I'm using these two mists by by Shimmers, and two of them are Vibes. That's the green and the pink. One is called Sweetheart. That's the pink one I'm using just there, and I've also got the green called Hermit the Frog. No, is that right? Yeah, Hermit the Frog. Yeah, and it looks in the bottle, it looks like the perfect green to go with these green trees. But as you will see in a moment, it's not as green when you put it on the page. I'm just having a quick shake up there, and I'm using the packaging technique for both the pink and the green. And when the green goes on the page, I'm just watering it down there a bit. When it goes on the page, it looks really rather more yellow than green, and I wasn't all that keen. So in the end, you won't see an awful lot of it. So I'm just smooshing it around on the page, using the packaging as is done many times, and then doing some splatters as well. So I've done that with both the pink and the green, which doesn't look as green as it should. It looks really quite yellowy there. But I'm just sort of forging ahead and just to see how it looks, because once I put the photos back in place, it's not a great deal on show. And then I've got one more here I'm using. This is a Spritz. I think the other two are, what are they? They're Vibes. This is a Spritz called Ruby, which has got a slightly more red tone to it, because there is some red in the trees. So I thought I'd pick out a little bit of red. So then I'm just laying the trees back on in place, and I've stuck them all down where I want them, or at least most of them are stuck down. I think there might be one or two more to be added a little bit later. And then I'm just trying a little bit more of this pink Vibes, the Sweetheart Vibes, because I keep trying the photos in place and it's not really very much showing above them. So just adding a little bit more, trying them, tucking them in there behind the trees, and just seeing whether the pink is showing, and it just needs a little bit more top and bottom so that a little bit is sticking out. And there's the two photos. So yeah, there's just about enough, I think, on display around the photos there. And I'm just going to trim down that photo so it tucks into behind the trees a little bit more, so it sort of nestles into the trees more closely. And again, I'm just adding a little bit more. Just keep adding a little bit, just to make sure there's a little bit showing around the pictures. I'm just watering it down a little bit, and now I've overdone it. It comes out in quite a lot comes out when you spray it, so I didn't want it too heavy. I'm just blotching it down there. And I think that's enough done. No, I'm going to do a bit more, apparently. A bit more splattering. There we go. I think that's again with the Ruby. A bit more splattering around the sides. So it looks a hell of a lot there, but actually by the time I've finished embellishing and put the photos on, you don't see a great deal. Only just a little bit round the edge of the photos, really. Just sticking on another tree there, little pink tree in the bottom right corner. And now I decided, when I looked at it, I didn't really like as much on those ones, just all the splattering. I didn't really like it, so I decided to tuck in some doilies just to tone it all down, so that the actual amount of mixed media you can see has been toned down quite a lot. I just, for some reason, I think it was the green, it just didn't work for me. I think I rather wish I hadn't used it. I think if it had been just pink it would have been okay, but the green bits that looked too yellow, and it didn't really work for me. And I've just got 2 little trees there to stick at the corner. I just think that just ties in the whole thing together, to have the little trees in the bottom left corner, brings them all in together. And I'm just popping that one up on some foam, so it just gives it a little bit more dimension. So they, Jenny and Gary didn't spend Christmas as such with us. They came on Boxing Day, came in time for lunch. This is now a couple of days later. They stayed with us for a couple of days. It was lovely to have them all there. And they will go home later this day. This is on the 28th. So I wanted to take a nice picture of them before they left, and I think these will come out lovely. They're so happy and so excited about the coming event, which will be in April. So I'm popping in some wood veneer. That one says Love and Joy, which seems to be pretty appropriate for the occasion. And the other one says Magical Moments. And they were. And I've just going to put another little tree there, popped up on some craft foam, just so there's a bit of dimension on the trees. So that little one, that little pink one there. And then I'm just doing a bit of journaling on one of the ephemera pieces that I had in my little box. And it just says, Jenny and Gary and Bump joined us on Boxing Day to celebrate Christmas with us for a few days. So they were just with us for a couple of days. And I just went down some of my boxes of ephemera that I've got arranged in by colour in some boxes, and I picked out some pink and some green that worked well with the colour scheme and also with the theme of the page. So that big green piece, as you can see, says You Are My Happiness. That seemed fairly appropriate, and the colour went really well with everything else. And there's a little circle with the heart in it in pink, and a pink love, and a green ampersand. So all the colours all just went together, and those particular ephemera I thought fitted the theme of the page, which is very much about love, and a new addition. So I think the ampersand is quite appropriate as well. I'm not always sure how to use them, but an ampersand when we've got a new little addition arriving in a couple of months or few months seemed quite appropriate. So I just like the way those just all blended in with the general colour scheme. And I'm just using a few enamel dots just to finish off that little cluster. I looked around and I thought, well, I can't really see anywhere else I want them to put them, so they're the only ones I used in the end. And I'm just looking to see if I can find any tiny word stickers to pop into that space under Magical Moments. And I've got one that says Tidings of Joy, which seems another one that works quite well. And there we are. I've just finished that off. There's another one that says Warm Hugs. The colour's not quite right, but the sentiment was okay, so I popped it in there. And then I'm just working on my title. I had an awful job trying to think of an appropriate sort of a nice clever title, and I'm not clever at titles. So in fact my husband gave me this one, and it's just Christmas Bump. Couldn't think of anything else, although I spent a lot of time trying to think of another more pithy title to use, but I stuck with this in the end. So the green letters are from a Hip Kit exclusive alpha set that I've had some time in my stash and haven't managed to use very, very many of. That was from a few kits ago. And then the pink letters are by Amy Tangerine, and they're the Alex font, and they're foam thickers. And I haven't used an awful lot of those either. I've had them for ages. And so again, the colours, they went with the colour scheme, and I thought that will work for what I need, because that's pretty much says what the pictures are about. They're about our Christmas bump, and next Christmas will be very different. I'm just sticking those on, and then my final touch will be some sequins. These are a little pack of Doodlebug sequins in all different colours. They just come in, I think you get about, I think it's 10 or 9 in a pack, and each little bottle has got a different colour. So I've got some green ones and I've got some pink ones, and I'm just going to dot them around the page as a finishing touch, just to give that little bit of Christmas sparkle. And this page didn't take me very long. I love these photographs of Jenny and Gary. They were so happy there, and I love that Kaisercraft paper with the trees. So I do love me a tree on my Christmas pages. You may have noticed I use a lot of Christmas trees on my pages, and I've really enjoyed doing this one. So I'm just dotting around these sequins, a few above and a few below, just to give a slightly random look. So they're all stuck down now, and I'm just adding the date, which is the 28th of December. So that's it. That's my page. It's all done. Didn't take very long, but I really love it. I love the whole day was beautiful. So thank you for joining me. Do join me again soon, and subscribe if you enjoyed this layout. Bye bye.